Hello, today I'm going to do a tutorial about reading CSV files from uh, using the CSV module from Python. And CSV stands for comma separated values. Um, it's a file type that's common in data science. CSV files are typically Unicode text, but not always. Python can handle CSV files, but one of the modules for working with CSV files is, of course, called CSV. For this tutorial, I will go through an example of a college student election for student body class president. The tutorial will read from the file that I created in Excel, and I will assume that the file is in the same directory as the Python file that I will be creating. And so to start the project with the CSV module, first, let's take a look at the CSV file. You can see here it has two columns, student ID and vote. Student ID is an integer, pretty large integer, and vote is Smith, Jones, or Draven. Okay. Now, I'm just looking at this file in Visual Studio Code. I'm not actually saving it from Visual Studio Code. If you do actually save it from Visual Studio Code, sometimes you get it adds characters at the end of a line, or sometimes it may do something to it. So I would hesitate to do that. I would open it for editing in Excel or something else. That may be better, at least for now. Okay, let's start. I created a file called student election -csv tutorial.py, and let's start out by import CSV. Okay. Now, let's make a let's make a variable with the file name. Don't want to hard code in the file name. Let's call it file to open equals class underscore election dot CSV. And again, it's in the same directory as the Python file that I have already saved in that folder. Okay. Now, you need to open the file using a conditional operator. I like to use with. You will set the operator equal to CSV for CSV reading, and then assign the CSV file object to a variable. In this case, CSV, this CSV file. Okay. So, start out with open file to open, comma. And then you put in R in quotes for reading. And you say as, and then you set it equal to variable this underscore CSV underscore file, and then in the conditional operator with a colon. Okay. Notice how the next line it indents automatically. Okay. In the next line, make another variable called this CSV reader. Set it equal to CSV.reader split this CSV reader. Oh, whoops, this CSV file, excuse me. Comma, and then delimiter equals comma. Okay. Since it's a CSV reader, you don't have to do the delimiter equals comma, but I like to do that just to get in the habit of doing that. Okay. Now we're going to go through line by line. I'm going to set a variable equal to the header. That's the first row. Header equals next this CSV reader. Okay. And then the next line, print. Okay, at this point, it's a good idea to save and run the code just to make sure everything's working okay. And let's take this out. Okay, prints out list with student ID and vote. Okay, it's a little bit slow, but this is VS Code, and VS Code is a little slow. Okay, that's good. Now, you'll notice that student ID is in the first position, and that has an index in a list that's an index of 0, and vote is in the has an index of 1. Again, the indexes start at 0. Okay, you'll need to remember that for later. Now, we're making a for loop. And you set this for loop equal to each row or each line or what have you. Call it whatever you want. I'll go ahead and do line, for line in this CSV reader, and colon. Now, it's a good idea to go up and initialize some variables at this point. This underscore student D equals this vote equals Jones vote. I'm making variables for each of the candidates. This is hard coding them. That's just to simplify things. Jones vote equals 0. Draven vote equals 0. And Smith vote equals 0. Okay. Now, continue with this for loop. Okay. Okay. Let's find this student ID for that particular line. To do that, this student underscore ID, set this student ID equal to line. And this is a bit confusing. It's not line 0, technically. It's, in this case, in the brackets, it's the column number, the column index that it's pointing to. Okay, so this student ID equals line, whatever line it's on in the for loop, and the column index 0. Okay. And then do the same for this vote. And finally, you need to count the votes for each candidate. Okay, and there are different ways of doing this. The easiest way is with a series of if statements. If this vote equals Smith vote equals Smith vote plus 1. Let's do another if statement. If this vote equals Jones oh, you know what? I forgot to do colons at the end. Okay, good to notice that now and not later. Okay, yes, at the end of every if statement, you have to put a colon. Okay, so Jones vote equals Jones vote plus 1. And if this vote equals Draven vote equals Draven vote plus 1. Okay. That ends the for loop and the with conditional operator. So you no longer need to indent. Okay, now to print out the totals. Oops. Let's put that at, okay, totals for each one plus the, okay. I want to make it easy to print out, and so I'm just going to switch the number of votes to a string, so I can just do a plus. Okay. Okay, string Draven vote. Okay, because I want to print out that as a string. Okay, now print, let's copy each of these and do, let's do Smith, vote. Then copy that again. Jones vote. Okay. Now we have to find out which one of the three is the highest. And again, the easiest way to do that is with an if statement. If this vote excuse me. If Draven vote is greater than Smith vote and Draven vote is greater than Jones vote. Print Draven wins. Okay. Okay. Now let's do that 2 more times, but change the conditional statements and the variables. Okay. Let's have Smith if Smith vote is greater than Draven vote and Smith vote is greater than Jones vote, then Smith wins. If Jones vote is greater than Smith vote and Jones vote is greater than Draven vote, then Jones wins. Okay. That should be everything and it should work now. Okay. Sure enough, it does. Thank you very much. That's it for this tutorial. And you can see Draven had 4 votes, Smith had 10, Jones had 6, so Smith wins. And you can see this code on my GitHub page, and you can see the data along with it. And you can also see this at datascienceexamples.com. And like and share this video. Thank you very much.